Well, who would have guessed that an alien technological signature would go global? I would have, because it's true. It's absolutely brilliant that the world media are now talking about radio telescopes. Radio telescopes are not understood and are often ignored, but in this story about an alien technological signature being detected, you need to have a very big radio telescope. So that's super exciting. But I have to say, the silly quotes in the newspaper saying that the confirmation of an alien technological signature will happen next week or next month are absolutely ridiculous. The confirmation of an alien technological signature will come when the data has been analysed. And hopefully soon, but putting a date on it is ridiculous. Peace, love, and we're not alone understanding to everybody who's read the story. I'm very flattered and I'm pleased that this story has got out there. But there are still some big questions that you are asking. So let me, as a science filmmaker and researcher, go over what I know. How I found out about a possible alien technological signature was here in Europe. Not from SETI, not from Breakthrough Listen, but here in Europe, from European Radio Astronomy. Right now, the EU are funding a large telescope in Germany, a data centre analysing these signals in Holland, a new telescope to be built in Africa, and very much putting money into the Square Kilometre Array, which is being built, but is operational to an extent in Australia. That's the real story. Breakthrough Listen might have thrown tons of dollars in buying telescope time, but it's actually European radio astronomy and data analysis who have possibly found evidence for this signal. Long before Breakthrough Listen came online and looked at one of the European extraterrestrial signal candidates, radio astronomers in Europe were actually looking at this signal. And European science continues to analyse the signal today. What's actually happening is that data from all these big telescopes are coming to a data processing centre in Holland, who have come up with an audacious plan. Let me explain the problem and let me tell you how they are fixing it. A single dish, Parkes, has just one signal. A better way of doing it would be to multiplex all of the radio telescopes throughout the world, and specifically these arrays, like the Square Kilometre Array, all with hundreds of dipole antennae on the ground. But all those separate antennas are slightly out of phase. If you combine them all, it would just produce noise. There needs to be a way of joining all the radio telescopes together and actually filtering out the noise and making one clear signal. That's what's happening in Europe right now. They have done that. So the original peer-reviewed and very good report by Breakthrough Listen on BLC1, where they say it's such a low-level signal, we can't confirm it isn't human interference. They're absolutely correct back in 2022. But today, in 2024, here in Europe, we can now combine different radio telescopes throughout the world and look for one very clear signal. And that's what's actually happened. The signal, whatever it is, it could be alien, it could be a natural source, but it's definitely coming from a rotating planet, is now being analysed in great detail. And that's the kind of research I really enjoy doing for you. I've been involved in broadcast television programmes that have looked behind the scenes at big stories, so I know how to operate in that kind of science field. Today in the 21st century, we don't have a single person who's going to win a Nobel Prize. They're all teams. In fact, they're multinational teams. You need hundreds of scientists collaborating on one project. There's no longer a single person who you can name. So that's the real story. That's what's really behind the possibility that an alien, non-human intelligence technological signature of just a buzz from a planet, of something that they're doing using a narrowband electromagnetic frequencies, or maybe lasers, who knows, is a signature of a non-human intelligence with a technology. I mean, that's absolutely fascinating. But that story will be confirmed by hundreds of scientists looking at tons of data from a whole bunch of telescopes that now can be combined. So thank you, news organizations, for breaking this story. You need to dig into it a bit more. There's not going to be one person revealing it. It's a big global story done by hundreds of people. But I also have to say something very negative. People like me, independent science researchers, in their basement, this is my basement in our French watermill, and people like Ashton Forbes, in his house in Minnesota, are pushing boundaries. We're asking difficult questions. We are prepared to put ourselves out there, but we're asking questions for you. It seems that some of the UFO community hate questions being asked. Why? Over the years, the UFO community have challenged governments, militaries, defense contractors to get to a disclosure of the truth. But I'm observing a very dangerous sea change in the UFO community. They actually distrust science as well as they distrust government. I've never believed in disclosure. I've always wanted research into confirmation. But a growing number of the UFO community don't want people like me or Ashton or other people doing good work being objective about flying saucers and UAP and alien signals. It's as if they distrust science as much as their government. Well, that's just ridiculous. I try hard and possibly bravely to answer questions for you. Are UAP real? Yes, they are real. Are governments doing research but hiding the truth of what they found about UAP? Yes, they're hiding the truth. Are a small group of defense contractors earning millions of dollars by exploiting the highly strange? Yes, they are. Are there advanced propulsion and weapon systems out there that you don't know about? Absolutely there are. So here, in my bunker, I'm asking hard questions. Is there evidence of an extraterrestrial technological signature? I think there is, and I think it will be revealed only when the research is fully done. Big stories like that are going to break here on social media. You need to subscribe, like, and join in a community asking big questions, because the truth is out there.